everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm out here at Hickory Ridge Wildlife Management Area today. I'm gonna do a little shed hunting, a little turkey scouting. It's the 24th of March 2024. Turkey season opens this coming week in Nebraska. Archery turkey season does. So it's overcast today. The sun's peeking out just a little bit right now, but it's supposed to be cloudy all day, which is better for shed hunting. So head up the hill. I parked in the southwest parking lot today. I shed hunted and turkey hunted the east side of this property last spring. If you want to see the shed that I found, it's in my hunting playlist on the channel if you want to look that up. We go see if we can find some antlers and listen and see if we can hear any turkeys. Okay, I just worked my way down the bottom of the side of the draw right here. Got down to the creek bottom. There's a creek right here, and then that crosses to a cut cornfield on the other side. So I'm actually gonna work my way down this side of the creek bed first, then cross over and see where this leads me, and follow the field all the way down. And I'm gonna cross over and come back up and see what we find. There's definitely deer sign in here. I have not found any antlers. I did see a couple scrapes. I haven't seen any rubs yet, but everything looked like it was from last year. Game and Parks also burned out the east side of this property. I don't know when they did it. It looks like fairly recently. So I was kind of hoping that when I got here and saw that would have pushed deer into the west side of the property. I'm just gonna do a little exploring, and I'll turn the camera on if I find anything interesting. I just got out of the creek bottom and back up on the ridge. I'm still following the south side of the creek. Right here there's a bunch of deer hair on the ground right here. I'm guessing that there's a winter kill or something around here. I have not seen any bones. Usually when I find hair like that, I try and follow it uphill because it usually gets dragged down the hill, but I just saw this brush pile over here and thought maybe it was in the brush pile. It doesn't appear like it's in there. There's a ton of hair here though. Something definitely happened. So, looks like the hair gets kind of patchy coming down the hill, so I'm gonna head uphill just a little bit and see if I can figure out what happened. Definitely kind of a cool hike in through here. I'll get out the laptop when I get home and kind of mark out my path that I took, but it's a nice blend of ridge tops, creek bottom, cedar trees and oak trees. So. It's also kind of cool the way the ridge overlooks this whole cornfield down here in the bottom on the other side of the creek. So during turkey season, the early parts of turkey season anyway, you could definitely sneak in here in the morning or afternoon and sit up on the ridge and glass down into the field and see if there's birds down there before you go through all the effort of trying to get down over there. Okay, I just crossed the creek right there. I actually just came down the little cow trail and crossed the creek bed. It was pretty dry right there. I'm gonna head down the edge of the cornfield until I get back to the west fence out there. Then I'm gonna go up the fence line and come back on that side of the field and walk up and down all the little draws, little finger draws, till I get back to here. And then I'm gonna work my way back to the Jeep. And if I still have some energy after that, I might go shed hunt a little bit on the east half over there. But I've never shed hunted a property after they burned it out, so I don't know what really to expect. I did see a lot of deer tracks when I crossed the creek right there. It looks like there's a carcass laying right here. Looks like the doe. I'm gonna work my way around the cornfield and see if we can find an antler. I just got down to the west edge of this first cornfield that I was shed hunting. This is the west fence coming up the field. On the north side of it, there's this little swell with a pond behind it. It'll be a pretty decent early season spot to throw a stand in there if you're trying to shoot a deer in September. There's a lot of deer tracks on the little dam right here. Wouldn't surprise me if deer are bedding down in all of these little cedar trees on the private property right next to this, and coming down here, getting a drink in the evening, and then hitting that field at night or in the evening. Yeah, I just started working my way down the north side of the field. I went up that little finger draw and back down. I've just been walking along the berm right here. That way I can look down both sides. I'm just coming up to another little finger draw. It looks like there's another dam up there with hopefully another pond around it. I really like to search around those ponds when I'm shed hunting. It's a place for deer to get water this time of year. So just seems like when I get into the ponds and the swamps and different types of habitat, that's where I find more antlers. I've also been running into a lot of these burrows in this berm. There's hundreds of them in here, so I don't know what's digging that all up, but something to keep in mind, I guess, if you're trying to hunt some of the fur-bearing animals. Come out here and check it out. Sorry about the wind. The wind picked up a lot the last half hour, so it's probably not the best audio, but I don't know if this was from them taking cattle out of here. I'm guessing it wasn't, but I have been noticing in this tall grass on this side that there's truck tracks about every maybe 20 to 30 feet or so. We'll just set there. There's another set right here. You can just see the two darker lines through the grass, so I'm guessing that someone had a vehicle out here and drove back and forth through the grass looking for antlers, possibly. I could be wrong. Could have been the Game and Parks Commission doing something else also, but that's is what it is. My gut tells me that it was shed hunters, but it's just the way it rolls. It'd be nice if everybody played the same game where you get out and walk, and it doesn't always happen like that. So that's also why it's so rare to find a nice shed on public land. So it's kind of like a treasure. But it's also why I come into all the public land shed hunting as going for a hike, and if you find an antler, that's a bonus. But I always try and do some scouting while I'm out here also. It's That's why I also try and do it on properties or pieces of property that I haven't been to before. So sometimes I stumble into a good hunting spot, or what I think might be a good hunting spot, just by shed hunting in the spring when there's really no drawback to walking into a deer's bedding area on accident. So I just got to the north edge of the field right here. There's quite a few little trails coming out of the field. There was a lot more deer tracks in that field, and bigger deer tracks. So I'm gonna work my way up this little finger draw and back down. Looks like there's a pretty decent pond in this little draw. This is a pretty decent scrape from this fall. Guessing that's what that is. There's a licking branch right here above it with a bunch of stuff busted off of it. So I'm actually gonna go up and around and back down and see what kind of tracks I can find in the sandy side of that pond back there. Drawback to this spot is it's getting closer to the road on the other side, so it's easier for people to access it also. Looks like the deer have been using it, not maybe recently, but it has been really dry lately, so there is some deer tracks in the dry also. There's quite a few tracks around it, so it's kind of a cool little pond. I did notice that this piece of public ground does have a lot of these little dammed up draws that come to a pond at the bottom of them, so it's nice that they're providing water catchment for the wildlife. Draws them to a spot so you can try and use that to your advantage when you're hunting. 3/4 of the way, or maybe a little more, up this draw, and it looks like there's another little dam up here, so maybe there's another pond up in the top. Oh, there's a lot of water in this one. Oh, there was ducks in it. I should have walked a little slower. I could have got some pretty good video of them, but there's also a little road right here. I don't know where that goes, probably all the way over to the field on the other side, but I could be wrong. So I'm gonna keep working my way around and come back down the other side. I just made it to back to where I started in this field. I'm on the east end of it. Just came down the side of that draw. I'm feeling pretty good. I got a little more time. Looks like there's a road cut right here. I looked at the aerial photo. It looks like there's another field back up in here somewhere. So since I'm on this side of the creek anyway, I'm going to hunt my way back to that field, go around it, come back down the creek bed, and then, like I said, work the ridges on the way back to the Jeep. Like this field opening right here is just CRP that they left. They didn't plant anything in here. Just let it grow to grass. There's a bunch of thickets in it, so I'm just walking the thickets looking for sheds. And we're gonna run back into creek bottom back down here. It looks like the beavers have quite the little beaver dam going on the creek down here. The water level's way higher down here than it is further up, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's a system of dams going down the creek. I saw some trees chewed up and dragged down by the water a little farther downstream, but I'm working my way back up toward where I came from. And looks like they have this one built pretty good across the whole stream. There's a couple of them that they started, or they're halfway across the stream, but there's got to be a couple of them in here working. Okay, I just crossed the creek from where I did some exploring on the field. I went down the south edge of the field all the way back around, did all the finger draws, and then I went up and did the little, across the road right there, did the little CRP opening until I got to the public land border, and then came back down the creek because the beavers had it dammed up so deep that I didn't want to cross it, especially when it's cold. I think it got up to like 40 today maybe when the sun's out, but it's still cold and windy. I didn't want to cross the creek waist deep and then walk back wet, so I just followed the creek back down to where I crossed the first time. Now I'm gonna work my way up on the ridge and follow the ridge back until I get to the Jeep.